almost used that. Oh my god. My default training. Which, before we also get in the next chapter, is use.
잘았군.
Well, that was nice of you,
진짜
Otis.
치장이란 게 무엇인지 직접 보여주도록 하지. 기대하도록.
That was very nice of you, Otis.
혈기분들은 납독하면서
And my boy. Thank you. One and done.
제대로 준비해야겠죠?
I expressed a little bit after the end of part 1 that I'm highly under the impression that our Donkey is not Donkey. I'm more leaning toward our Donkey is Senjo. Senjo Penza is our Donkey. And my leaning for this reasoning is because during the scene recounting the bandit story, Donkey doesn't remember Senjo being there. And I feel like that makes the dots connect more for me for Donkey to be Sancho, because you wouldn't remember Sancho being there if she actually is Sancho. And like the only way to fill in the gap of that additional person might be to duplicate herself in that role, or mentally view the original Don Quixote in that role, and that would probably like shatter the existence. A potential other possibility is Miguel, and I think that one's possible. That one seems possible. I just lean more Sancho. And there's a piece of me that thinks Miguel would also be very fitting for like the final villain of the arc to some extent. So I feel very confident in this though. I feel like more confident than I was in anything for Heath's chapter, because Heath's chapter was like, okay, Kathy's dead, so all my plans went out the freaking water. If I'm right, Sanson was wearing a lot of blue, so that character's probably going to end up being the Jordan Gregor's mother. Where the sinners each share their impressions of the Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion?
아니, 그렇게 우습다는 듯이 놀리지 말아라.
Nay, tease me not, jest me not as though my venture is one for fools.
그건 네가 모험이라는 것을 잘 몰라서 하는 소리라고 하지 않았느냐?
I have already explained that you do not know of true adventure.
우리는 지금부터 유례가 없는 치열한 고행을 치르러 갈 것이다.
We shall soon walk a path of suffering, its intensity unprecedented and monumental.
네 눈에는 보이지 않느냐? 위대한 모험의 문이 우리에게 활짝 열려 있다.
Do you not see the grand gate of adventure risen on lats before us?
잔말 말고 어서 채비를 갖추고 출발하자.
Thus silence your prattling and resume the preparations. Let us leave post haste.
하지만 조금 이상하다는 생각은 드는군.
This is quite odd, however.
로신한테가 언제부터 말을 할 수 있었단 말인가?
Since when was Rosinante given the gift of speech? Huh? Don Q is remembering another voice speaking the same words as Don Quixote. They I feel. But it's not Rosinante speaking to her. Something happened, and I really, like, dream ending seems very apt of something happened that made Don suppress all this and not remember people and potentially her own real name. So, I'm afraid. Dawn isn't even my favorite, and I'm afraid. While we had our reservations, we took the path Sanson opened for us and made it to the next area.
걱정이네요. 이 구역은 시춘 씨를 포함해서 다른 해결사분들이
I'm worried about Shishun and the other fixers. They were assigned area 2, right? They're all right. Oh shit, we're gonna run into her again. I'm not ready. I'm not. Can we maybe not run into them? Just hope, maybe. Think about it.
시춘은 괜찮을 거예요.
Shijun will be okay, I'm sure. Oh, that reminds me, I have a funny family in-joke to share. Funny how, Lou. After the last time with your family, I'm concerned.
뭔데?
Oh, let's hear it.
저희 집에선
It goes like this. Any of our siblings who manage to survive on their own up to the age of 13 in our household will probably be A-okay, even if they were to be tossed out in the middle of the outskirts. Where's the joke? Okay, we should hurry. I bet Area 2 is just as bad, if not worse than Area 1. If something bad were to happen to your sister in front of your eyes...
그럴 땐 유해라도 수습해서 언젠가 집에 돌아가면 잘 안치해줘야겠지요.
Then I will gather her remains and lay them in her final resting place when I returned home. Whenever that may be. That's next chapter, Honglu, which is why I'm not ready. Let's listen to Gregor.
시춘도 제게 똑같이 해줬을 거예요.
Chichu would have done the same for me.
그러냐?
Yeah.
어...
Anyways,
춥지 않아 다들?
ain't this place a bit drafty, fellas? This place feels very different from Area 1. Unlike Area 1, which was extremely gaudy and overly decorated, this place is teeming with ominous, depressing silence. Yes, this place is... how should I put it? It's eerily quiet, almost spooky even. Well, Baesa, I hope this is a good kind of quiet. You know, what if it's just quiet down because the fixers who made it here first already took out all the blood fiends. It is pretty suffocating to just sit here not knowing who won the fight, or if there even was a fight. Let's not try to get added to that wall of missing persons posters. How much time do we have left until La Mancha Land closes? 5 hours by my estimation. Nice. I'd say we're moving at a decent pace. Hey, what if we're the first group that managed to activate their area's device? Well, we did suffer some losses. Did we? Did we really, Ishmael?
이탈자는 배신자에겐 과분한 호칭이다.
Agreeing with Otis. Moses, I believe we've only pruned a traitor in our midst. Yet, sits ill at the back of my mind still. It was not as though we passed the first area by our own will and effort. It was the command of the man in the magician's outfit by which we were made to pass through. Well, he was a pretty weird blood fiend.
맞아요. 그리고 어딘가 익숙한
Right, and I couldn't quite tell what it was, but there was something familiar about him. Something familiar? I guess he did seem kind of similar to Ryoshu in that artsy fartsy way. Yoshu quietly let out a cloud of smoke. It briefly lingered mid-air before turning into a bizarre shape.
귀엽네요.
That's cute. It's a cat-shaped bloom. Oh, it's you, weeping and sniveling. An expression of the consequences should you mistranslate me in the future.
응? 여기
Oh.
좀 특이한데.
This place is pretty neat. Oh, what
아
is?
이거 좀 봐.
Look here on the map. They have an infirmary. Guests injured on a ride, guests who need a moment to calm down, or any blood fiends who are urgent need of blood, you can find help here. Huh, ain't that awfully nice of them. They said that La Mancha Land was intended to be where blood fiends and humans can peacefully, happily coexist. Maybe a long, long time ago it really did work for a while. At least according to the descriptions of this map. Nonsense, 'tis would be a most impossible task, most evidently. An adventure such as this cannot possibly exist in any tale of Don Quixote. A place to coexist with villains? Absurd. This subject doth remind me of the case of a case Lord Siegfried had once resolved. A battle atop a bridge it was. Back then the villains suggested a compromise most devious, not unlike the one suggested by the wicked ones who inhabit this place. They sought to seduce him with promises of riches and powers to have him stand with them. Yet Lord Siegfried refused to bend his knee. He answered their suggestion with but a mighty socking against the villain's jaw. Oh, that 1 hour edit of the battle. Wasn't it pretty obvious that it was staged? And declared thusly, Thou shalt make a purchasable profit of I, Siegfried, with thy contemptible money. The fact that if you just had this line, wasn't it pretty obvious it was staged in the 1 hour edit of the battle? Siegfried was getting freaking paid. And yeah, Dun's not registering. The man was making bank. And fired off his super special laser beam cannon at the villain.
자, 모두 여기에 집중하도록.
Attention, men. A timely intervention from Modus put a stop to Don Quixote's story.
피주머니들의 흔적들이 이
There are
어트랙션에
remains of blood
집중되어
bags strewn about in close proximity to this attraction. It's called, let's see, Haunted Bloody Mary. This is one of those haunted mansion attractions. Hey, Sinclair, do you think these haunted mansions have actual... Stop right there. Hey, my parents took me to an amusement park too, okay? So don't think you can use this to tease me or scare me like... It was a genuine question. I've never been to an amusement park, you know. Huh.
죄송해요.
Sinclair thought he was teased, and now he's just rude. Sorry. Hey, don't you worry about it. So, do these places actually have ghosts or not?
보통
I'm fairly sure they have some pretty cheap-looking animatronics or mannequins at worst. An attraction of that category often admits guests of all ages, including children. They do not place real paranormal entities such as ghosts inside them. However, they often install various tools and visual effects to simulate the fear responses in their guests. Yeah, these are usually family attractions. Where's your family, your siblings? I never had anyone, not even on the day I was born. I've only known the cold, the loneliness. Then let me grant you the will to live. The family I shall grant you will forever be by your side. Come with me. See, now I'm conflicted because that does make me lean more in the Miguel direction than.
유령의 집은 오랜만이네요. 다시 온다면 가족과 함께일 줄 알았는데 이렇게
It's been so long since I visited one of these haunted mansions. The last time I was at a place like this, I thought when the next time came, I'd be here with my family again. Not all on my own like this. I guess we're all chopped liver, Sinclair.
혼자라니 섭섭한
All on
말을.
your own. Come on, kiddo. You're
동료들이랑
here with your new
함께
with your coworkers.
뭐 식구가
Coworkers who
둘러싸냐?
are kind of like family, ain't it? Oh, that's actually kind of sweet, Heath.
잡담은 거기까지.
Enough chit-chat. Everyone direct your attention to the floor. There's something there.
역시
Yes, there are numerous signs of battle, just as I expected.
썩은 내음이 허파에
A
들어차는
stench, this
것으로 보아
miasma of rot fills my lungs.
꽤
It has some
시간이
kind.
흘렀으리라고.
It has been some time since the battle took
이번
place.
토벌에 참여한 해결사들로
Nobody here
보이는
appears to be a
자들이
fixer who
어느
participated in our ongoing mission. Or maybe they've all been turned into blood bags and are shambling through the haunted mansion, but it's probably better to not share that kind of thought here. There's blood everywhere. I welcome you with all my heart, dear guests, to the haunted Bloody Mary. The portrait from which the voice was echoing was torn in half. From what we could deduce from the remaining part of the portrait, it was likely a depiction of the king of the castle, or at least that was the story it tried to convey. It's all torn up.
찢어진 형태로 보아 이곳에
Can be
걸릴
extrapolated from the torn patterns that it was intended to be displayed in its current tattered form. You find yourselves in the castle of an ancient, once prosperous kingdom that has long fallen to ruin. Now, you must explore every corner of this derelict castle to unveil the true secrets of the old kingdom. Please note that there are several installations with explicit purpose of inducing fear. If you have a heart condition or cannot handle horror very well, please reconsider partaking in this expedition.
그렇다는데
So he says.
겁먹지 않네.
Okay, I kind of didn't expect this from Dawn. Sinclair, absolutely. Dawn, less so. Well, verily, I have no such fear in my heart. Don't squeeze me so tightly, Don Quixote. Can you let go of my arm, please? Sancho, Your Grace, if you have something you would like to tell me, please come closer and... I missed a line, you say. What? Ah, I see. Aha. Let the fire of courage light your way in this adventure of cold, chilling fear. Okay, unless this was a pre-recorded thing, I'm now leaning less on Sancho for Don Quixote. That would... this... It does... But since it's an announcement, it makes me kind of like... I feel like it could go one way or the other. That I can't guarantee it. But this is making me lean a little less.
여기부터 시작인가
The
보네요.
tour must start somewhere around here.
구조를 보면
And that mirror's gotta be where the blood fiends used to hide and to shock their guests, and look at the ceiling panels slightly ajar. That's probably where...
그런 식으로 다 설명하는 놈들이 제일 재미없어.
Yeah, I hate smartasses who can't keep their mouths shut. Let's stop explaining things.
아이씨, 깜짝이야.
She was right. Don't you understand that the real fun of Haunted Bloody Mary is walking into the scare knowing that it's going to happen? Why can't you just be a good guest?
전 그런 상냥한 타입은 못 되어서요.
Sorry, I'm just not that nice. We were going to let you through, but she's really getting on my nerves. Ishmael's too analytical for these people.
알다시피 전 감성적인 말을
They have
하는
different
것을
outfits, but
능숙한
their
편은
their
아닙니다.
typing was all similar.
신속한 해결이 우선 아니겠습니까? 이런 것도 되죠. 알다시피 전 감성적인 말을 하는 것에 능숙한 편은 아닙니다. 입에 발린
항복하겠는가?
공감보다는 신속한 해결이 우선 아니겠습니까?
찢어진 독같이 흐느적거리는구만.
Going strong.
주의하십시오.
바람
직원 중에
구멍을 내.
비실거리는 자가 있습니다. 아,
That felt
원하신다면
things felt.
30% 할인
되네요.
가격으로 재생
아마
앰플을
그
제공할 수도
공격이
있습니다만.
약점이었겠죠?
Yeah, it's fine.
합격장.
항복하겠는가?
너 맞.
이제 쓸만해졌군. 조금씩 나아가고 있네요.
바람 구멍을 내.
Yeah, we're fine.
해주세요.
꼭 찢어진 독같이 흐느적거리는구만.
관찰은 끝났습니다.
좋아. 알맞게 먼지 덩어리를 털어냈네. 그러니까 이젠 광을 내볼 차례겠지.
직원들이 유리한 조건에 있습니다.
점 찍었네.
아, 동랑님이 말씀하시길 이번 전투가 성공적으로 끝난다면 근사한 회식에 데려가 주신다고 하더군요. S사 툭불 소고기로.
저 시시게.
비뚤어졌구려. 이제야
방금의 일격은 매우 좋았습니다.
Which
제가
sounds
만약
like half of
도시에서
this might end
야구
this
선수가 되어
turn.
홈런을 날렸더라면
이상
이런 기분이지
얻을
않았을까
정보는
싶군요.
없군요.
대의에 거스르지 말고.
There now.
꽤 잘 먹혀 들어가는 공격이었습니다. 제 지시를
You two should
정확하게
have traded,
이해하셨군요.
because that would have been done
구멍을
that.
내주지.
유쾌한 결투였네.
Thank you.
직접
Shut up, game.
손봐주지.
It's fine. The only one not leveled is Sinclair.
다 처리된
Right then. Well, that's the last of the blood fiends here.
아무래도 다 해치운 모양이라네.
'Twas a victory in our favor.
아니, 더 있다.
No, there's more.
저 관소.
Trembling rats inside that coffin, they lack even a morsel of shame. We opened the coffin Ryoshu singled out. Holy shit. And several blood fiends came tumbling out. Look who's talking. Ryoshu, can you see through the walls by any chance?
목숨을 구걸하는 놈들.
I only smelled their dirty cowardness. Did they leave?
누구를 말하는 건가요?
What do you mean by they?
우리를 사냥하러 온
The
놈들.
monsters who came to hunt us, those bastards going around smashing our rides and attractions.
아, 누구인지 알 것 같아요.
Oh, I think I know who
그분들은
you're talking
무사히 앞으로
about.
가셨나요?
Did they make it safely past this attraction?
앞으로 갔을 거야.
Probably.
제대로 보지 못한 건가?
You didn't get a good look at them.
어쩔 수 없었어.
We had no choice. Our role were to jump out and scare people during the banquet of blood fiend scene, but we stayed put in here because they were even scarier.
원래 우리가 관에서
The visitors used to scream and run when we jump out of these coffins. They really loved it. We even took pictures with them once we were done with the interaction. Hey guys, want to know something cool? We're running an event where we're able to take a free commemorative picture with you for only 400 milliblood. How's that? How's that? Do you want to leave a picture in the Don't you want to leave a picture of the spooky experience? 4 mils is nothing, right? It's just a little trickle of blood with no danger to your health. I even heard that you humans have to draw blood once in a while anyway to renew your blood supply and keep things fresh and healthy. You all want to live long, healthy lives, don't you? I bet you do. Mate, you serious? No, I'm sorry. I won't drink your blood, not even a drop. I didn't want to be a part of that plan anyway. I just wanted to get out of here. That reminds me, I wonder what happened to the one who managed to escape. I should have run away too when I had the chance. The one who managed to escape. Dawn? It is likely that he's referring to Cassetti. Also, okay, I forgot about him, but yeah, probably more likely. Because this one seems newer, lower level. But would outside be any better? How will I live on? Hiding in sewers like rats, hiding from humans? I don't want that life. But this place is also just so... we're cornered. There's nothing we can do. We have no options left. It's either die or live a life worse than dying. This accursed La Mancha land. It does raise a point that these guys are kind of, by all means, trapped as well. Like there's no life for them outside of La Mancha land. Not sure it will come down to any of them being like truly sympathetic characters, but like
데이에 거스르지 말고. 이제야 완성되었나?
너
칼날이 잘 드네요. 아마 그 공격이 약점이었겠죠? 우리가 우세한 상황이야.
직접 타도하죠.
그렇다고 비스킷을 꺼내 먹으면서 싸우려는 얘기는 아니었는데.
합격장.
승객이 떡콩 한 번 먹였어. 조금씩 나아가고 있네요. 계속 힘내주세요.
시시게.
관찰은 끝났습니다.
좋아, 알맞게 먼지 덩어리를 털어냈네. 그러니까 이젠 광을 내볼 차례겠지.
don't make me nervous, Yizong.
이런 것도 되죠.
Nice on you.
편하게 가자고요.
I so far have not that were fast staggering, but otherwise we haven't really had any roadblocks, which I will certainly jinx myself by even
그렇다고 비스킷을
attempting to
꺼내먹으면서
say that.
싸우려는 얘기는 아니었는데. 시시게
방금의 일격은 매우 좋았습니다.
반복하겠는가?
제가 만약
유쾌한
도시에서
결투였네.
야구 선수가 되어 홈런을 날렸더라면 이런 기분이지 않았을까 싶군요.
But overall, it's been like steady.
그대들도 뛰어났네만. 내가
Does that make sense?
조금 더 나았군.
Keep going as it. We're at a level 46. Okay, this might be. Let's just level you up. Shit, that's not enough.
투입이군.
퀘스트
I think that order.
했어요.
Yeah.
싱싱한 풀이 보이네.
축하드립니다. 용감한 탐험가 여러분. 왕국의 비밀을 모두 밝혀내셨고
Congratulations, O brave adventurers, you have uncovered every secret of the kingdom.
바깥에서 두려움을
This time I've let you leave. Should you face such terrors in the world beyond, remember your bravery here and triumph over them as you have today. And now please give a warm welcome to the blood fiends of the attraction. On the Bloody Mary, they'll be here for the spooky scary photo shoot with blood fiends.
내레이션이 끊겼네요.
And this narration just stopped here. Narration. Yes. Okay. Well, we may have already took care of the blood fiends who were supposed to show up on cue, so yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, the fact that Ishmael's now calling that out as a narration means recording. Sancho is still on the table for Dawn.
아마도 즉
He would have GUH.
직접 나와서
He would
진행했을
have
것 같다고
graced us
하시네요.
himself, she says.
슬프게도
What misfortune, every clue that may have shed light on the secret of this tragic kingdom's history has all been pulverized by the guests who passed through before you. Did the voice just change? It wasn't just the audio quality this time, right?
산손이라는 자의
Tis the
목소리와
voice of that Senson.
여러분을 깜짝 놀라게 해주었던
And our dear blood fiend actors who have put so much effort into giving you a good surprise have all disappeared as well.
악한 자들은
We have brought righteous judgment upon those evil wretches. Even the gentleman responsible for that narration? Well, perhaps in place of a photo shoot, we could slot in a brief explanation about the secrets of this kingdom. The voice beyond the speaker began with a hint of excitement, as though he'd been expecting this situation all along, or maybe he's expecting something to come of this. Long, long ago, a lonesome king resided within the tower walls of this great castle. And during so many years of such desolate place wore him down. Lonely mornings, silent nights, the king's heart forever a hollow void. So the soul-crushing loneliness drove the king to yearn for a family. Desperately, oh so desperately. So the king began turning his wish into reality, forging a family of his own, blood-bound, to spend the rest of their lives together until the end of days. The king's love for his family was bottomless and generous. Soon the cold, desolate castle became a cozy home, brimming with warm laughter. Yet perhaps happiness simply isn't a thing that lasts. It was on one of those many happy days when a knight, hailing from a faraway kingdom, arrived at the gates of this castle. The knight was a traveler and a wanderer with hundreds of adventures and thousands of tales to tell, collected from hither and thither, hither and yonder beyond the world outside the castle. The king, who had spent his entire life never setting so much as a foot outside of the castle, requested that the knight recount tales of those adventures to him. The knight, at want of any reason to refuse this request, said as such, O honored king, verily I shall regale thee with the tales of the words I've witnessed, the adventures I've undertaken. Soon something new, something different began to fill the castle. Tales of thrilling adventure. Some days they would talk of a long voyage at sea, of heroes brave the restless wave. Some days they would whisper the heartbreaking tragic tale of lovers. Some days they would sing of a hero's perilous encounter with the unyielding monster. And it kept going and going and going, as though the end was an idea alien to them. As the king spent days upon days without sleep or rest, lost in the tale of the adventures, he soon came to a great realization that his family of blood, this confined happiness locked within the castle, cannot fill that void in his heart. So the king began to fill that emptiness with tales of adventures the knight regaled him with. His infinite love for his family started to grow in a different direction, toward adventure, toward the night, toward the world outside the periphery of his castle. The family thought it wouldn't last, but it was all but a fleeting dream. After all, just a brief, silly whim in which he fancied himself as what he was not, donning himself a pair of ragged boots and wielding an iron lance. This king is Don Quixote. And I see the butcher there. That silhouette, I think. The one my mouse is over. I want to say it's probably not the butcher, the barber. This could be our true Dawn. This is our Dawn, potentially. This is the other Dawn. And Lady Dulcinea and the priest. The family waited and waited for the king, their creator, who not only gave them love, but bequeathed them the same void of the heart, to love them and only them again. Yet for all their wanting, what came thereafter from the king's mouth was bitter to their ears. Let us bring down the walls of this castle. Let us make friends with those outsiders, declared the king. The family was afraid. To bring down the castle meant that the comfortable, familiar, eternal home and nest was to be no more. But the family loved the lonely king and is will enough to help him demolish his own castle. So the deed was done, spade in their hands. Yet those who lived outside the castle were far too different from those who lived within. The king's family had to give up so many things. Happiness, joy, ecstasy, pleasure, hope, anticipation. They had to give them all up because otherwise they could not become friends with those outside the castle. So the king outlawed happiness from his family, because he believed that they could be happy merely by watching the happiness of others, of those who lived outside the castle blossom. That happiness was something that could be shared. Believing that their happiness could be our own in time. All of our pursuits of happiness were ordained a sin. So I ask, why must we repent for our happiness? Were there so many mentions of family? There were so many mentions of family. What do you suppose he's trying to say? A load of shit, that's what. How interesting. I wonder if that family ever had real happiness to begin with. Hung Lu, you saying that scares me. Because has your family ever had real happiness either? While everyone else found themselves rendered speechless by this gloomy tale, Hong Lu did not hesitate to share his thoughts as though it was just another light-hearted tale. Because it's probably not as dark as the shit he's been through. I made a little bit of joke in the chat that I talked to my friends about Limbus in, but Onglu got the Blood Fiend Hunter ID, not a Blood Fiend ID like Otis did. Makes me wonder if he didn't get the Blood Fiend ID because his family dynamic is worse than the Blood Fiends.
아, 저기 출구 표시가 보여요. 이
Oh look, I see the exit sign over there. It looks like this is where the interaction ends. Yeah, it says something under there. There was a sign on the wall with instructions written in bold letters. All blood fiends must attend at least one weekly consultation session with the priest.
면담 시간.
Consultation session.
무엇에 대한 면담이
Consultation sessions of what kind? And on what subject, one must wonder.
글쎄, 어떤 것이든.
Anything, I guess. Or maybe it's like a confession?
뭐 그래도 옛날에는
I know that's clearly not true anymore, but
라만첼랜드도 나름
Lamanchaland must have put in a lot of effort back in the day.
정말
Indeed, perhaps they once dreamed of coexistence. Nay,
그럴 리 없다네.
nothing but wicked trickery. All.
알다시피 전
Like, I can see the
감성적인 말을
OG
하는
knight
능숙한
potentially
편은
not
아닙니다.
being related
일반인
at all
공격에는 신속한
in that
해결이 우선
tale,
아니겠습니까?
but the king being that original
되죠.
Don Quixote. Because Don Quixote was
적들이
just
싫어하는 음식이
some
뭐였는지 정확히
dude
간파했네.
who decided he wanted to be a
주인님이
knight
도착하기 전까지 끝내보자.
점
벽난로에
찍었네.
불도 지피고 음식도
and
준비하고
entered the knighthood.
맞이할 준비를 해야 하니까. 저 시시게.
칼날이 잘 드네요. 아마 그 공격이 약점이었겠죠?
And the overall becomes about like living your dreams and not worrying about the thoughts of others
관찰은
to some extent, at least, of
끝났습니다.
방금의 일격은 매우
believing
좋았습니다.
something so
제가
hardly and
만약
not wasting
야구
your
선수가 되어
days.
홈런을 날렸더라면 이런 기분이지
Like there's a
않았을까
lot of
싶군요.
that to it,
반복하겠는
but so the knight or the knight is not,
하나나 가져간다.
or the knight that visits the king is not, but
다행이에요.
the knight is. And I think one of the silhouettes is for Sancho. Essentially,
합격장.
that early text is
더 이상 얻을 정보는 없군요.
the king, aka the true Don.
바람구멍을 내주지.
Like, this is so confusing to talk about because it's not like Heath and Earl King Heath. Like, Earl King Heath is a separate mirror eye being that is not supposed to exist in our timeline. This is much more
너 맞.
Don Quixote that we know doesn't
꽤
realize
잘못
she's
들어가는
not Don Quixote,
공격이었습니다. 제 지시를 정확하게
바람구멍을
이해하시고
내주지.
which is going to make the end of this chapter very interesting. If that actually turns out to be the case, of what comes of that.
이제야 완성되었나?
이제 쓸만해졌군.
편하게 가자고요.